Your Sirius Step of the Day is sponsored by Soulmark.me. Watch, shop, learn.
Namaste. Welcome to step 14. Step 14 is actually a stabilizing step. 1 plus 4 equals 5. So it's an intellectually ruled day. And our mind is the ruling state of awareness. So it's a day of being very pensive because it adds up to a 5. It adds up to the intellect running the day. But what's underneath it is, again, building on yesterday's step. Yesterday was the breakdown, the step 13. Today is the breakthrough. And the reason why we break through today is because we manifest the innovation. We love and trust 10, or manifest the 4. So we bring into our life the innovation we discovered yesterday. If we learn not to trip over something, if we learn not to ignore something, today we apply that. And it takes our mind to kind of get around things. Because the smartass is the part of us that ultimately sends out the email to the rest of the states to do things. This is why thoughts become things, the importance of the intellect. Because the intellect is constantly sending out messages to the rest of the soul on behalf of the king or queen. And so, if those messages are, we're stupid, or we can't do that, then the rest of you is going, you heard the king or queen, it came from the smartass, it must be true, right? It must be coming from the heart. If it comes from the mind, it must be coming from the heart. The liver doesn't know, right? The rest of you doesn't know. The nervous system is sending out what the brain is sending out. Stress, anxiety, these sorts of signals, right? So a lot of times in the games that I create for people to help break through their mind games, because I am the king of mind games, you know, I think the more intelligent you are, the more intelligent your mind games are. And so we are what we are up against in our mind. And today is really about thinking differently. If you apply yesterday's innovation to your thoughts today, if you innovate the way you think, if you go up in your thinking, and this is what I always say with my personal readings too. A lot of people have certain conditions in their chart where they were born kind of not realizing there's another floor up in their thinking. And this is usually that they've got a planet at step 14 in the house of thinking. So they might have Pluto at 14 degrees in the 3rd house, or they'll have the sun at 14 degrees. They'll have something where it tells me that they are narrow-minded in their thinking, that they need to apply the 4 and break through and think differently. So what happens is the smartass basically will survey and think about everything there is to think about. It's almost like the mind wants to survey reality, and so it thinks about everything. And what happens is that we just keep repeating this and repeating this, and it's like the same thoughts and the same conclusions, and the same thoughts and the same conclusions, and the same thoughts and the same conclusions, right? And it's like we're going nowhere with this. Why? Well, we need to innovate our thoughts. Obviously, there's nothing on this floor that has our answer. We have to go up. We have to take the Uranus elevator up. We have to see above our situation. But how do you see above your situation? Well, this is where kind of Eastern philosophy is really helpful, because, you know, a lot of their sayings and fortune cookies and things like that are all kind of pointing you towards this kind of thinking, which is to see what you don't see, in a kind of Yoda thing. You must unlearn what you have learned, right? And that's kind of how you think around your own thoughts. The truth is that the secret to thinking beyond your own thoughts is to recognize what you're not thinking. Because what you are thinking is obviously not working for you. So if you're stuck today, what are you not thinking about? What are you not considering? What have you not considered possible, right? And remember, if it's true, your heart will say yes. Your heart is the king or queen. So when the mind comes up with an idea, it's a good idea when the heart lights up. If the heart lights up, that means you're meant to pursue it. That's your walkie-talkie to Creator right there. Hello, Creator. Coming in, right? So when your heart lights up, those are your guides. That's your heart. I mean, that's the heart of who you are. That's the heart of your star being. So that's lighting up. Your guides will probably give you goosebumps or some sort of thing like that that will add on. So that's step 7 coming in. That's the I sense state of awareness coming in. And you know, the I sense state of awareness is talking to the I be state of awareness. And so your body gives you goosebumps because a message came in from the higher self. This is how the whole symphony of the My USA comes together, your United States of Awareness. They are a team. They're all working with each other. They're all talking to each other if you are aware. If you're not aware, they're not talking to each other. So today is also about what am I not paying attention to? What messages am I not listening to from my other states of awareness? Is my body telling me something today that my mind is ignoring? Is my I sense state of awareness telling me something today that the rest of me is ignoring? Right? These are powerful. Is my ego angry today? Because if my ego is angry, that's telling me something too. That means that there's a threat at the outer perimeter. Something is wrong. We are under attack or we're under some sort of threat. So any part of you today that's speaking is valid. And if you're stuck where you can't get off the floor, where you can't find a solution to your problem, where you can't figure out what you can't figure out, right? This is the time where we need to relax the mind, the smart ass, and tell it who's boss. You, the king, the queen, right here, the heart of you. That's what's boss. And so that part of you, the heart of you, is looking for a solution. So smart ass, go find it. Go see somewhere you haven't looked. Rather than beat yourself up in your mind and go over and over and over the problem again, it's much better to sit back in your heart and go, well, what does my heart wish the solution was? Because remember, wishing is manifestation. So when you really get stuck, you should ask your heart for the solution. What do you wish? The heart's like, oh, I wish I won the lottery. Everyone wishes that. That's a little of a shallow wish, no offense. What you really wish is that you didn't have to deal with this. Or what you really wish in your heart is that she would just understand. Or what you really wish in your heart is that you could go back and start over, which you can't. But when people wish to go back and start over, basically you're knowing what you have to do, because if you could go back, you would behave differently. And so whatever it is that you would do to go back, you should go ahead and do that behavior now, right? So all these parts of ourselves, okay, are clues. And in an I think day, which is what today is, step 14 comes down to a 5, which means it's our intellectual day. We have a choice in how we direct our smartass and what we have it think about. And my, what's the word I'm looking for on this Uranus ruled day? Not Mercury ruled day, rather. My thought to you is to open your heart, to interview your heart for what it wants, and then to direct the mind to go find the solution. And of course, you want to apply yesterday's innovation. So the last thing I'll say is how to apply an innovation. Now, innovations are interesting. They're not literal, okay? So innovations are, usually when we have an epiphany, when we go up a floor in our thinking, it's because we get out of our own way. We get out of our own, our certain ways of thinking. And in that moment, because we're at the gas station at that hour, because we were out of our normal path, we put together dots we don't normally put together. So yesterday, for instance, when you were trying to jump on the escalator and make your life work, you might have tripped over something. And your first thought might have been, oh, I need to, look down when I walk. But actually, the innovation there wasn't necessarily looking down when you walk, per se, on escalators. It was the profound element of looking down when you are in life. So whatever innovation happened yesterday, it was a fortune cookie. It was a formula. It was an algorithm that you can apply to any situation, but differently, in a metaphorical and symbolic way. That's how consciousness works. And so you might have tripped over something yesterday, and you might have a completely different obstacle today. But if the solution yesterday was look down, even if you're in an entirely different place today, look down. All right, my friends, good luck with step 14, and I will see you tomorrow for step 15, where it all comes to peace, Venus. Until then, namaste.
Who cares?
So God